Tomorrow's headlines today. Commanders, Eagles. What's the headline for the NFC Championship?
You know, Washington comes in now. One of the hottest teams in the league. Like, who's beating them, right? They're just on fire with Jaden Daniels. Fourth down, historically great. The headline will be law-abiding citizen. Eagles object to Washington's commands. By the way, great movie, Law-Abiding Citizen. I don't know if you've seen it. I'm on the Eagles here. Listen, I think a teaser bringing them from 6 down to pick 'em makes a lot of sense. But ultimately, Washington, 4th straight road game. You know the teams historically who play in a 4th straight road game? 0-7 straight up. It's tough. You just wear down, a lot of travel. One thing defensively and schematically, I'm curious. So Tampa Bay and Detroit played a lot of man-to-man against Jaden Daniels, turning your back and let Daniels run. Philly plays a lot of zone, and they mix up the blitzes. I think Daniels could struggle here, and I'm kind of with you. I smell the potential for a Philly blowout. I will add, I did bet Jaden Daniels under 55 rushing yards. 55 yards is a ton for a quarterback.
Well, and he also does a lot of 8-yard runs. He doesn't do a lot of 30, 40-yard runs usually.
Yeah,
he picks up a first down.
Yeah. And by the way, I think the Eagles are going to be ready round 3 for 4th and 3. Jaden Daniels, read option keeper. You know, they're going to be ready for that. For some reason, Detroit was not coming off the bye. Ultimately, whoever wins the turnover battle wins. Colin, Washington won the turnover battle 5-0 last week. Do you think the Eagles are going to turn the ball over 5 times, even 3? Like, unless Jalen Hurts vomits all over himself, I don't see that happening. I'll take the Eagles to win semi-comfortably.
Same here. Tomorrow's headlines today. Bills, Chiefs, one potentially for the ages.
Yeah, you know, you remember Brady and Belichick and the Patriots? Betting against them was just stupid. They would just win every important game, right? Starting to feel like that with the Chiefs, kind of, sort of. The headline will be, take a chill, Bill. Swifties super sweet, swallowed whole. Gary the Buffalo Bills going into Arrowhead. Cowherd, I'm fired up about this game. I know all the numbers on Mahomes is a small underdog. He's unbeatable. Andy Reid, oh my gosh. I think the Bills can pull this off. I genuinely do. It's going to have to be a Josh Allen game. I'm on the over here. I think there's going to be a lot of points like you. And this feels like a 3-point game either way. You know, it's going to come down to whoever has the ball last, and hopefully it's Josh Allen. Now, the one injury concern is Taylor Rapp, the safety, hasn't practiced yet.
He has a history of injuries.
Yeah, it sounds like he's not going to go. Now, the question is who fills in his spot. There is the kid Elam out of Florida who was a first-round pick. He's kind of been a disappointment. He might have to shift into a cornerback spot and you move somebody to safety. This could be a big Mahomes game. There, you know, he didn't do much last week against Houston.
He didn't do anything. Corners. It was Travis Kelce and nothing burger.
Well, we know, playoff Kelce's a real thing. You know, playoff Jimmy Butler, that's a thing.
Playoff
Kelce.
Yeah.
I mean, he's unstoppable. I will point out to people who want to say, well, the Bills' offense didn't do anything last week. In the win over Kansas City in the regular season, no Kincaid,
that's right,
no Coleman, and they were down their right tackle. And they still moved the ball pretty much with ease. I don't know, man. I smell a bit of a shootout. I know a lot of people are looking at the under. The total's 47.5. I don't get that.
Yeah.
These are two good offenses. A quick reminder, the teams that are here have not turned the ball over yet in the postseason. They're playing error-free football. Somebody's got to break. I saw a stat from, I think Dan Orlovsky had it. The Buffalo Bills have an NFL record 12 games this season without a turnover. Now, the Chiefs have gone 8 straight without a turnover. Something's got to give, right? These guys can't continue to play perfect games. I'll go Bills. I love the Bills in a teaser leg up through the key numbers of 3-7 to 7.5. That's my best bet. Is it Eagles Bills teaser? Go Josh Allen.
Tomorrow's headlines today. How about some tasty ones? What's the headline for the Bears next season with their new coach Ben Johnson?
We're getting a little speculative. Ben Johnson's a hot name. Can he build a culture? That's a big question. The headline in Chicago will be, it's been too long. Chicago playoff hibernation finally over. Yeah, I think they make the leap. Listen, this was a really good team for stretches early, and then Eberflus really coached them out of a lot of games. They kept blowing stuff late. The Hail Mary to Washington. Yes. They never recovered from that, Colin.
They never did.
But roster-wise, if you look at this division, I think they stack up pretty evenly.
I think they've got some really interesting players at key spots.
Yeah. And now the question is, can Ben Johnson build like a tough staff? Can Caleb, how quickly will he adapt to Ben Johnson? I think there's some real positives to take away here. And frankly, like you said, Dallas is cratering in the NFC. The NFC South, once again, is just like one team's going to get in. I don't know what to do with like the Arizonas and Seattles of the world. I think Chicago has a legitimate case to make the playoffs this year with Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams.
Tomorrow's headlines today, wild 48 hours for Liam Cohen, who leaves Tampa for Jacksonville. What's going to be the headline?
I get a sense you don't love this as much as I do. I think this is fascinating. A chance to coach Trevor Lawrence. The headline in Jacksonville will be Cohen back on his word. Liam turnaround, turns Jags around. Look at that. Trevor Lawrence in the backseat. Driving Miss Daisy. Good stuff. Listen, that division is ripe for the taking.
It's wide open.
Remember, the Texans like, hey, does anyone want this? Nobody could take it last year. I just go back to this Jags team. Trevor Lawrence, they got some weapons. I like ETN. I mean, the wide receivers are solid. The young kid Brian Thomas looks like a major keeper. They just got to figure out the defense and Liam Cohen's smart play calling. Remember, there was supposed to be a big drop-off for Baker Mayfield when they lost Dave Canales, the OC. He went to Carolina. There was no drop-off. Baker was outstanding, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFC. I think Trevor Lawrence can turn around. I think it's a huge loss in Tampa. I think Jacksonville's a 10-win team next year. Put me down for the playoffs for Trevor Lawrence.
I don't think that's crazy. Yeah. Finally, tomorrow's headlines today. What are we going to do with the train wreck known as the Dallas Cowboys going forward? They still, I don't even know if they have a coach on the radar now.
It's bad. Now, I will say we've got some genius headline writers here. This has to be, I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. This is a top 3 in my history doing this for like 6 years. The headline in Dallas will be, shot through the heart, and Jerry's to blame. You give Dallas a bad name. Colin, come on. That's
pretty good.
That's as good as it gets. And I think we're starting to see shift over to, hey, Jerry, you had a good run. You got to let someone else be GM. This has been disaster after disaster for a few years now. I'll go back to the Dak Prescott contract, the way he bungled McCarthy. Colin, it's all not good. Now, I wonder, how do you navigate that? Because Jerry is getting all the blame. Turn on Dallas radio. It's brutal. Look on the Dallas media. Everybody's pinning this on Jerry. He did not have an alternative game plan when McCarthy said no. We know Dion was a pipe dream. That was never happening. And now it's Brian Schottenheimer. It's so bad that Micah Parsons has not gone on his podcast to chime in yet. He doesn't know what to say. If you're a Dallas Cowboys fan, this is DEFCON 1 right now.
No. We're not trying to be hyperbolic here. This is a disaster, folks. When you're the last team to hire a coach, because there's always 6 or 7 openings, you get the bottom end of the coordinators. And Jerry doesn't pay his coaches a lot anyway. Yeah. He's not certain organizations will pay coordinators. And there are certain organizations that will not. Jerry doesn't pay coordinators big money or coaches big money.
It looks like Washington and Philadelphia are going to dominate that division for at least the next
I'm okay
few years.
with it. Those are great historic organizations. I'm fine with it. But this is bad.
If this keeps up, the NFL gives out primetime games to the great teams. I don't know that Dallas is going to be a big Sunday night team. I know that the ratings are good with Dallas, but this team probably by Halloween is going to be already thinking to 2026.